Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this first Linux session. I hope that you are enjoying the course so far. So the Linux module will be composed of four different sessions, and I really hope that by the end of these sessions, you will be convinced that the command line and Linux are very handy and are not just for geeky people, and that the command line make life easier when it comes to handling biological data. One important thing I really want to mention before we get started is the fact that you will be learning a lot of command lines and a lot of options within a short period of time. So keep in mind that the only way to learn is to take time to practice the different commands, to try the different options, and to explore. Of course, you are going to make mistakes, but don't worry about that. It's the only way to learn. And do not hesitate to ask questions either to me or to your teaching assistant. I'm pretty sure that the teaching assistants will be doing a great job on the ground in the different classrooms. So please make sure you take enough time to try the different commands and the different options we will be going through, and do not hesitate to ask questions. So the objective of this very first session is to introduce you to Linux and what is Linux and the different Linux versions. You will also be introduced to the Linux file structure, and you will understand what is a relative path and what is an absolute path. You will also learn the very basic commands that will allow you to create your file structure, to create directories and create files, and how to navigate through them. By the end of the session, I'll also introduce you to very useful shortcuts that are very handy and that will allow you to speed up some processes. So hopefully by the end of the session you will be able to create a file structure, you will be able to navigate through it, and you will also be able to create simple text files and view their content, and you will also be able to make use of these shortcuts that will be introduced. So let's first start by understanding what is Linux and what is Unix. So Unix is an operating system that was initially developed in 1960, and there are different versions of Unix that of course share a lot of common similarities. The most popular varieties of Unix are Solaris, Linux, and Mac operating system. And Unix have a graphical user interface that makes it easy to use. So it's not just a black window, it's like Windows. There is a graphical interface that will allow you to install new packages or open a given application, open a file, etc. So don't worry about that. It's quite similar to Windows in the fact that it does have a graphical interface. So what is the difference between Linux and Unix? So Linux is a kind of clone of Unix, but it doesn't contain its whole code. So the design of Linux was influenced by Minix, which is a variant of Unix, but the entire code was written again from scratch. So Unix was initially developed to be used on big servers, large mainframes, and expensive computers in different institutions. But Linux was mainly developed for personal computers. It's a much simpler type of hardware. However, today Linux is being used on more than a type of a platform. It's the most used operating system, and its use include the use on servers, embedded system, mobile phones, etc. Linux is free and open source, but the original Unix is not. However, some of versions, derivatives of Unix are. And also all the command lines that do work on Linux do also work on Unix. So you must be wondering why one should think about using Linux and not Windows. So the very first thing is the fact that Linux is free, and you don't have to purchase a license to use Linux. You can simply go and download a distribution of Linux, and the most popular ones are Ubuntu, Red Hat, Mandriva, and there's a whole bunch of them. And like Windows, where you have to pay to purchase a license and to get your computer work. So Linux has a very low cost and is also a very stable system by the fact that it's continually being developed, and the different features are being improved. In fact, it's a fast developing system because it's an open source project, and there are a lot of people contributing to improving the code every day. So the fact of being an open source project means that you can have access to the source code, which is really a plus, and which allows different developers to keep developing different features and to get it a better system. Linux is the most secure operating system. Being secure by nature would make things much easier, and you don't have to worry about spending a lot of money to get a premium antivirus software. Linux is also the best multi-user and multitasking operating system, which means that you can have different users using the system on the same time, running different tasks on the same time as well. And the world fastest supercomputers are using Linux, and it's the very popular operating system used for big computing servers. The other advantage is that Linux supports all the major programming language like Java, C, C++, Python, Perl, etc. And it does offer a vast range of applications that are really useful for programming purposes. Another advantage is that the fact of Linux is really, the Linux terminal is really much better than the Windows command lines for developer, and it does really offer a lot of libraries that are natively developed under Linux, and you don't have to worry about installing more packages to get your code work. So there are a lot of different Linux distributions. It's not like Windows. Windows doesn't have different flavors, let's say. So you will find a lot of different distributions that are catered for a different set of needs. So you can choose the distribution you may want to install according to your needs. So different Linux distributions are available via this link, and they are free to download. There are different other websites that also allow you to download different Linux distributions. So the difference between the different Linux distributions is the type of softwares that comes packaged with the initial operating system, and there are many distributions that are specialized in graphical design, for example. Some others are specialized in sound editing, sound mixing. Others are really specialized in performing scientific work, like doing some calculations, dealing with DNA sequences, etc. So you can find more information about the different distributions via this link and many other websites. So again, Ubuntu is an easy and very convenient for beginners especially, and you can find a very simple guide on how to install Ubuntu in your machine via this link.